In this module, we focus on relationship management, which defines how different entities interact within the platform. Relationship management determines who can trade, who can execute trades, and where the resulting risk ultimately resides. It acts as the structural layer that governs trading permissions, execution routing, and client access across the platform. At a high level, this module manages the relationships between clients, liquidity providers, prime brokers, and executing users. By configuring these relationships correctly, the platform ensures that only authorized institutions can interact with each other during pricing and execution. We begin with the trading relationship configuration. The trading relationship defines which client institutions are permitted to trade with specific liquidity providers or makers. This relationship ensures that a client can only request quotes or execute trades with liquidity providers that have been explicitly enabled for them. To add a new trading relationship, navigate to the Trading Relationship tab within Relationship Management and select the option to create a new entry. In the form that appears, select the liquidity provider institution in the LP institution code field. This represents the bank or liquidity provider that will provide quotes. Next, select the client institution in the LT institution code field. This represents the client entity that will be requesting quotes or executing trades with that liquidity provider. Finally, ensure the relationship is enabled and save the configuration. Once saved, the selected client will be authorized to trade with the chosen liquidity provider. After defining which liquidity providers a client can trade with, the next step is configuring the prime broking relationship. The prime broking relationship links a client institution to its designated prime broker. The prime broker is not authorized to execute trades on behalf of the client. Instead, it acts as an intermediate entity for risk and settlement purposes. Once this relationship is enabled, the client can set up trading accounts using the prime broker as the intermediate entity. This ensures that trades executed with liquidity providers are correctly routed through the prime broker, allowing proper handling of exposure, settlement, and counterparty risk. To create a prime broking relationship, navigate to the Prime Broking Relationship tab and create a new mapping. In the form, select the client institution in the institution code field and assign the appropriate prime broker in the PB code field. Once enabled and saved, this relationship allows the client to use the prime broker within trading account configurations for execution and settlement workflows. Once trading and prime broker relationships are defined, the next step is creating trading accounts. Trading accounts define the unique account identifiers used during trade execution and post-trade processing. These accounts represent the specific trading identity that will appear when requesting quotes or executing trades. To add a new trading account, navigate to the Trading Accounts tab and create a new account entry. Specify the account identifier and select the associated client institution and prime broker combination. Provide the relevant notification email addresses, which can be configured as a distribution list so that multiple recipients receive trade confirmations whenever a trade is executed using this account. These configurations determine how trades are routed and how confirmations are delivered after execution. Finally, we configure the OBO execution relationship, or on behalf of execution. The OBO execution relationship allows one user or entity to execute trades on behalf of another institution. This is commonly used in situations where a sales user or execution desk places trades for a client while the risk remains with the client institution. To configure this relationship, navigate to the OBO Execution Relationship tab and create a new entry. Select the executing entity and the institution on whose behalf the trade will be executed. Once this relationship is enabled and saved, the executing user will be authorized to place trades on behalf of the designated client while the system maintains proper risk attribution and audit tracking. Together, these configurations form the full relationship management framework. Trading relationships define which liquidity providers a client can trade with. Prime broking relationships determine whether trades are executed through a prime broker. Trading accounts define the execution identities that appear in the OTC Pricer interface. And OBO execution relationships control which users are permitted to execute trades on behalf of clients. By combining these configurations, the platform ensures that every trade follows a controlled and auditable path from pricing to execution, while maintaining proper institutional permissions and risk ownership.